Okay, so the next panel I'm introducing is AI Driving a Sustainable Advantage, and I am excited to announce our moderator, BEATE Rosenthal. She is a partner at Roland Berger, and please welcome her to the stage as well as our esteemed speakers.
Good morning, everyone. We've had some incredible sessions, and they all, touch upon the topic we're also going to get to now, which is AI for sustainable advantage. And we're not hiding the word sustainability, we're putting it up front. If you think about what's happened to sustainability, and some of you might have seen the recent risk report also by the WEF, it's still a topic that's with us. The megatrends are still out there with climate change, with population growth. Maybe people don't see it as short-term. At the same time, obviously, AI got a lot of attention, and we are seeing increasingly companies that are syncing the transformation that's necessary on both AI and sustainability. Did you know that our global water gap, so the difference between the water demand and the water supply of drinkable water, is increasing every year by more than 5%? Did you know that we had more than 600 extreme weather events in the last years? So definitely, sustainability still matters. It's reflected in the risks that leaders see. Now let's come to AI and technology. We are seeing that green tech investments are expected and are growing heavily, expected to come from 25 billion investments to 75 billion by 2030. And green tech includes a lot of AI technology. Companies like Amazon, Microsoft, that we also have on stage, and also what you see from the Bill Gates Foundation, they're investing 1 or 2 billion in climate and green tech funds. So bringing those two together really, really matters. And that's why we're going to discuss in this panel about that sync between AI and sustainability, which we call twin transformation, because we see those advantages. I'm looking forward with my speakers to discuss this in more detail. We have ANTONIA, who's the Chief Sustainability Officer at Nestle. Thank you for joining us. We have ANKE, who is a Senior Vice President at ABB, so different industry. And also on the non-executive board of ABB Germany. And we have CATRIN HINKEL, who's the corporate vice president and CEO of Microsoft Switzerland. So we have industries, we have technology. I'm looking forward to the discussion. ANTONIA, let's start. As you introduce yourself a bit more, can you tell us what's your role in driving resilience for your company? In which role does AI play in that already? And which initiatives have you taken to bring sustainability forward in these days?
Thank you very much. So resilience and sustainability was not mentioned as a pair a few years back. So it came more to the forefront. The more sustainability, you said before, we do talk about it, but often people now find different words. Now, why has resilience come up, and what is my role in all of that? It has come up with, I would say, some healthy movement, the questioning, what does sustainability actually do for the company? It's people, planet, and business. All three need to benefit from the sustainability initiatives. So, and with that, at least in our case, the resilience came very strongly to the forefront. Why? I mean, we're a food company, and as a food company, we use a lot of agricultural materials. We heard it in the previous panel. There was a fantastic discussion. That's exactly it. So agricultural materials, what do we see there? We see with the increasing temperatures on Earth, the yields are not the same as they have been in all parts. Some parts it's the same, some parts it's better, in other parts it's actually not as good. Now, when you buy a lot of certain agricultural materials, such as coffee and cocoa, we depend on that supply. So it's also in our interest, and it's important for the company's resilience and existence that there is enough of these materials. So now where comes AI into the game here? AI, I heard something wonderful yesterday in a discussion, what is AI for? It helps you to be better, to see better, and to act better. So I like to steal that and just pinpoint what are the different activities. So in order to be better, on the field, we don't have that much of an experience yet. This is more in the factories where it clearly helps AI already today, combined with automation. It helps to be more efficient in energy use. So water, electricity, whatsoever is used as an energy source. So that's something we will expand even further. And by the way, side comment, I had a chat with our CIO just yesterday. He reassured me that the use of AI here in the factories, it helps to reduce so much the use of resources, notably electricity, that it offsets the consumption of AI, which is needed for that. So it's a kind of net positive. I found it quite reassuring. So, but that is then the be better. Now on the see better, this is why we go into the agri-space. See better today, what do I need to do when I want to measure greenhouse gas, water consumption, fertility of the soil? We need to go on the ground on each field. The poor farmer has to go to dig, do measurements. We provide how to measure, but it's quite cumbersome, it's time consuming. So there are better ways to do. And I had quite some discussions yesterday again with a few companies. So what is possible there is actually to use some data on the ground and then use satellite imagery and combined with extrapolate. So that means you can draw conclusions from all the combined data points which you see. So you don't need to go in the field anymore. That's fantastic. And we actually work with 2 companies to hopefully get there. And it certainly helps us to see better, going back to resilience, to see better where is a risk in the next 10, 15 years. Where will we face maybe less water or but then lower yields, lower biodiversity? So this see better helps us, and that's my last point, to act better. And the act better, just again in the agri-space, this you can get lost in translation there. It's so vast. So in fact, when then we see, okay, that's where we have a particular risk in the next 10, 15 years, let's focus on this part of the world for that type of ingredient and really get a positive impact there, which helps farm, which helps us, and that's the last part.
Very important word also, focus on what really matters. So
yes.
Anke, from your perspective in your industry, which initiatives are you taking to syncing the two?
Thanks. ABB, for the ones who are not so familiar, is actually helping industries to outrun leaner and cleaner. And we do this increasingly via the use of AI. 55% of our solutions today already are software and, of course, increasingly AI-based. And we have been doing the hard part of the work for many, many years. Before the age of generative AI, we have been bringing AI to the control rooms of many industries, buildings, transport. And this has been the hard part because now we can use this data. What has changed? In the past, we have been sensing data, analyzing, acting on it. With Agentic AI, we are now able to really take this to the next level. We are understanding, we are perceiving, and we are solving. And this actually gives really a chance to take it to the next level, to get access for everyone there. Electricity is expected to grow 9 times faster than the overall global energy demand. And as we all know, the grids are not really ready for this. So we are enabling this. And AI is helping us to do this in a much more efficient way than what would be possible without it. There's really complex systems that make sure supply demand is potentially measured at every single second. And we need to optimize the grid use. Otherwise, we're talking right now about 80 gigawatt energy or electricity missing in the US only by the increasing demand for data centers. And so all these opportunities are there. And I'm very happy, before Kevin starts over, one of the big interventions we have done also for the industries we're working with, for food and beverages, for hard-to-abate industries, cement, steel, is our industrial AI solution that we developed together with Microsoft, GenX AI. And what it enables is really to make sure the energy optimization is there. We have demonstrated 18% energy reduction by the use of Genix AI. And the more fascinating piece I find is really you are able to have the troubleshooting happening much, much faster. 60 to 80% time reduction for troubleshooting. And that's really giving the information into the hands of the people that need to be able to take decisions fast. And so that's the exciting part where we are focusing on sustainability and resilience by enabling electrification and automation.
Thank you. Thank you also picking up the word resilience, which is reframing it all, sometimes to make it even more relevant for more stakeholders. Katrin, what's your perspective and what are the initiatives that you're taking?
Yeah, so obviously the topic is top of mind at Microsoft in everything we do. One, for our customers. So thank you for mentioning Genix. It's a fantastic solution where you actually built in sustainability into your product with an AI solution that you then deliver to customers and enable them to take actions in a much easier way. So that's a great example. So what we do is we build platforms. We have tools where our customers can then build their solutions on, but we help with the ideas and how to use the technology to actually come to those kinds of results. That is our main target. But then to enable that, there's a lot we do, of course, internally. And the way we think about these products is always with sustainability in mind. That's where it starts. So let me give you a few examples. One is around the responsible AI standards that are published for Microsoft. They're very broad. They've been published even before anyone thought about publishing the responsible AI standards. And they represent how we develop our products. And that is an important part of our DNA. Another one would be around our sustainability targets. We have not touched them, not changed them. We continue on course. We stay on course because we think it's important. And we're making good progress. I mean, most people talk only about the ones that are more challenging, which definitely is carbon, and I get to that in a minute. But on waste and water and land, we're pretty much either on or over target with regards to the goals we set. On carbon, that is the challenging one. People talk about it's become more challenging with AI because of energy consumption. Yes, energy consumption is growing, but if you look at overall energy consumption in the world and you add up what Gen AI and emails, the sort of the office application does, it's a very, very small part of the overall energy consumption. So the real lever that we have in that space is actually by building solutions such as Genix with customers, where we go into supply chains, into production, into those kinds of areas to actually optimize, and that's what we want to do. So, but we still stay course on carbon. So there are some challenges, and I think the last piece that I would like to mention is that, and I was surprised by that myself, the extent to which we go into research around optimization. That is especially, of course, in our data centers, but also in the way we develop our hardware. So if you look into how we produce our laptops and how we recycle what's there and everything that we offer around that, there's a lot of sustainability built into that. And then on the data centers, there's constant innovation. So on chips, on cooling, on recycling, on how we build the data centers. How do you renew a data center? Because sometimes the old architectures cannot be used for the new technology that saves energy. So how can we actually recycle as much as we can from an existing older data center and build that into the newest and most efficient facilities? So there's a lot of research going on. We're working with a lot of partners on that topic as well, and I'm very proud, especially of about that part, because I think we're creating some very, very interesting projects there. Also in collaboration then with the local communities and so on, so that others benefit from the things that we build.
Thank you. I love it that you're giving concrete examples. So let's get to the next level, which is agentic. Right? So 60% of corporate AI initiatives in the last year were claimed to already have an agentic element. So when we talk agentic, we're actually talking about Gen AI, not just doing tasks in simple processes, but sometimes multi-agent systems that work together to solve complex problems, hopefully with human oversight. What we have in the background here is an example from the coffee sourcing. And just to give that example, what Agentic AI allows us to do, it allows us not just to combine unstructured and structured data, but data from different sources to then solve the problem of optimizing coffee sourcing, both for the supplier and obviously for the company sourcing it, by combining different sub-agentic systems to, for instance, model climate risks, to model what's growing in the crops, to look at the political risks, which often also play a role, especially these days, to look at the market risks, how are prices changing in the different levels of negotiation, and combining that also. Let's talk a little bit about agentic and how we bring agentic to the use to make companies more resilient and more sustainable. CATRIN, share with us from the tech side how you're supporting those and using those agentic ecosystems.
Yeah, okay, so agents is the big new development that we're seeing. Again, it's not sometime in the future, it's now. And we look at 3 different types of agents, if you will. So one is the personal productivity agents. It's something that actually everyone can build themselves. We see those. I have about between 5 and 10 constantly that I built myself that are supporting me in specific tasks. Then there's sort of on the other end of the spectrum, in the middle we have agents that are used by teams, to optimize smaller processes. 5, 10 people, sometimes 20 people, not at scale. And then there's agents that are more corporate or enterprise agents that really go through a whole hundreds of people that are able to use them and to optimize. Those probably have the biggest levers, because those corporate or enterprise sized agents are usually, or very often, not just one agent, but a team of agents, which we don't really talk about, that then go into the different systems and bring together data. So that will enable us to bring together data that before we couldn't, and then we go into the sustainability space. So as an example, if you optimize a factory, and I'm talking about a beverage company right now, if you optimize a factory around water, waste, carbon, and so on, electricity, then sometimes you go for one, but then you're creating a lot of negative impact in another space. And if you don't bring together the data and have agents that can actually cover all of it, from maybe also look into the finance system and so on, then you don't get to the savings and to the and the environmental impact that you would like to have. So this is where agents are going to help both in sustainability, but also in the wider productivity scale.
Yeah, and they allow us to go across those silos in the organization sometimes. So Anke, what's your perspective on this next level of AI and sustainability resilience?
I think the good news is that it's the first time that we can really build a technology that's really human-centric. And that's an opportunity we shouldn't miss. If you just think about how we have been talking about sustainability or the challenges at hand for a long time, we always have been saying the solutions are all there. We need to scale them to mitigate climate change, to drive the adaptation required. And today we have the opportunity with Agentic AI to give this knowledge to the people actually that are there to scale the things. So I believe actually we will be able to scale faster. Will it be fast enough? Up to us. If I pick up on the example I shared earlier, and this fits perfectly to what you just said, the operator on a line today has already a lot of data to make decisions on where to optimize. But if it also gets the access to the inventory part of the information, to the CapEx, it's possible to decide, do I take the line down now? Are the spare parts available? Is this the right investment decision? Should I optimize and run longer? So all this is a different level of predictive maintenance that we haven't seen so far. And that's really empowering people to make decisions that so far have been waiting for the service engineer to arrive, waiting hours, days, not at all required any longer. There are decisions possible on the spot. The other example I like is very much when you think about power transmission lines, super critical. AI helps us to increase the throughput by up to 15%. That's what has been demonstrated. And what does it do? It brings information together from cloud coverage, wind, temperature, supply and demand in the energy supply system. All these different systems so far haven't been talking to each other. And this then shows you, okay, how can I run this this part of the grid in a way that it's anticipating what the demand that is coming, what storage is needed where, which EV storage could actually be used. All of these things coming together. We are demonstrating this today in our building management systems. Of course, in the future, you will have this in many other applications. And so having these complex information sets coming together and building on them and then driving, obviously, improvements is an important part. And that's what I think is exciting about it.
Thank you. So which other use case can you add before we come to wrap up on the leadership topic?
Yes, so these were already fantastic cases, I can only agree. So we really see, AI, the agents, they help to connect more information faster so that actually you can do things or make things better from a holistic point of view. Now, the case I'm with the team, we're just working on, apart from the data extrapolation, this one is to use an agent to develop products that are sustainable by design. Because today what we do, we look at it, what's the greenhouse gas footprint? Okay, this one we need to reduce. So you kind of always in the repair mode. I want to get us out of this repair mode into it has to be right from the start. And we start doing this with packaging, where we already have a decision tree and the agent has been fed with it. We're not just training the agent. And then when the packaging developers, they look at it, outcome should be a packaging that's optimized from a cost perspective, from a greenhouse gas, a plastic, and whatsoever relevant. So we have all the criteria up there. So that's something in the past we could do, but it took quite some time. And because it takes quite some time, people are often not doing it. So, and that then again helps the resilience because it's more cost effective to get right from the start versus repairing after.
No, great decision support example, bringing different perspectives together. So now, what does it all take? We've actually seen that when you bring AI and sustainability transformation, you have a lot of common success factors. And they all start with leadership, commitment to change, but they also require data readiness, which is not to be underestimated, and the engagement of your people, and importantly, we've heard it, balancing efficiency and innovation. So from a leadership perspective, Antonia, which barriers or opportunities were you tackling to, move forward with those initiatives?
I mean, it's the usual. Some people say, oh, this now comes on top. Okay, maybe the opportunities are not clear from the start. But there are always some front runners in the team. And I mean, as a leader, I think we have to be the front runners. We have to look ahead and what are the opportunities. So look ahead, opportunity, pick the people in the team that are ready for it. And of course, the IT included when it comes to Agentic AI. But and then show the success cases and then the rest follows. Mm-hmm. But it's the usual challenges.
Thank you. What about you, CATRIN?
I mean, we see our own challenges and we see the challenges that our customers have. I think it starts with one thought, and that goes back to my consulting background. It always needs to create business value. It's like if it's not of value to an employee, to a customer, to top line, bottom line, something, sustainability. We don't look at it. So when I discuss with customers, or when we discuss within Microsoft, we start with the problem. We start with what is the biggest thing that we need to solve for, and can AI help? That's the way to ask the question, not the other way around. I think it's, if we look at where does it impact, it's really important that people are educated and skilled. This is a basic need, and yes, that's where we need to lead. But that's also where we bring a lot of tools to customers, and this, I think it was in June, where we made a big announcement of investments into Switzerland, where we said we're going to train 1 million Swiss people on AI. We're already done 400,000. So the goal is by 2027 we'll be done much before that. But providing those possibilities to actually learn, I think, is the second point. Third one, I would say, is around governance and values. Super important that you set the boundaries. We have set boundaries through our AI principles. We recommend to our customers to set their own AI principles. Very, very important, because this technology needs some guidance as well. You said it. It's about the human that sets the direction, and then the technology that supports. So I would say that is probably the third one.
Yeah, Anke, maybe just one additional thought before you answer. If you look at the Western world, the actual majority of chief sustainability officers are women. We have 2 here. Yeah. Any thoughts on also your personal influence as a woman in this leadership topic?
I love the point, and yes. This has been one of the fun parts entering sustainability about 3 years ago. Obviously, I'm coming with a business background, and so making sure, as you already said, that value creation for the customer is at the heart of what we do is a super important part. So many sustainability practitioners who have been struggling there for years didn't have this on top of their mind. And so I think there's understanding, integrating, thinking inclusiveness, are all female traits that definitely have helped. Originally, so many women entered this space because it was the one where they couldn't do any harm. I think we are now benefiting from having so many women in the space, because it takes urgency and patience at the same time. And I think this is something we're bringing to the forefront. You need to show there are successful pilots, use cases right now, but at the same time you need to be there for the long run. And the examples really for me are making sure the employees are seeing what you are doing today to obviously continue generating the competitive advantage while taking along the people, helping them, retention, staying on the course. You described for Microsoft, same for us, we are staying the course on our sustainability targets. They are well integrated in our purpose, and that's what people are looking for. The moment you start loosening, people start losing trust, and we do want to have the highest level of engaged employees, and this matters for Agentic AI as for any other leadership challenge that we have ahead of us. So bringing sustainability into any of the use cases we have, reminding people that yes, if you are doing the cost optimization, at the same time you're doing the water optimization, the emissions reduction, that's one of the challenges I think we can continue improving on. It's easily forgotten. The cost comes first again, and then you easily forget that an average data center is consuming water of 1,000 households and the electricity of 100,000 households. So this is something, bring it into the equation, and it's motivating the people to work on these things. It's not just cost, it's all these other benefits, life cycle extension, all these things. And that's where I think we have the biggest opportunity as leaders in this space, to bring people along and make them excited about what's coming.
Thank you for your continued leadership on this topic. To wrap it up, we've heard about how useful, important and effective it can be to sync AI and resilience and sustainability. We've heard a lot of interesting examples from the B, C and ACT perspective, and we've heard a strong call for action that partnering across industry and technology is super important, and it takes continued urgency and patience. We're here for the long run in our leadership to take it forward, but to also take our people along and to train them and to train ourselves. So thank you for joining this panel with us, and let's continue the conversation as we go through those days here in Davos.